Martin, everybody, welcome to Lock Pod, Season 10, Episode 11, Midwest's Most Dangerous Podcast.
Sponsored by?
Sponsored by, who is it sponsored by? Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity.
So, you were late this morning.
I had a morning.
I was Jill texted me at like 7:23. Hey, I forgot Fisher's closed. I'll be there in a minute. And then I was like,
I didn't forget. I just didn't know.
Didn't know. And then
Which one's Fisher's?
that's the one that connects to the hospital.
Is that the one in front of?
Exactly.
No.
By the hospital.
Yeah.
So
Like
she
where
comes
you
down
turn?
home and
Oh, you go down. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, you're coming down home. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah. And then I was like, "Where's Mayor?"
I'm always late.
Yeah, but you were.
On time. I woke up late this morning, but I had a bad morning.
Yeah.
I was first off, I can't get behind the right person ever. It's I'm either behind a guy that wants to shoot me and flip me off,
That happened.
or this morning I'm going through construction with the guy it's got a posted speed limit of 25, so that means he's going 22. And like literally, there's nobody in front of him. He's literally in a construction zone going like 22, and I'm like, what? Like, and I can't do anything.
I got a
'cause I'm trapped.
podcast.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, there's no construction workers out. There's not, and it's like safe, literally. Going 22. Don't want to get near the speed limit.
Being in a one-lane road when there's a slow driver is no.
Oh my god.
Do you also pick the wrong lane, like at the grocery store?
Yeah, all the time.
The guy that all of a sudden the check doesn't is not working. The
And
credit card's not working.
And the toll road.
And the toll booth. The guy that the gate.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the iPass
Right.
isn't working, so he's got to
I
do
always
the
got
credit
that
card.
guy in front of me. I'm like, I never commit to a line in the toll road.
I don't
because
either.
of that.
I wait.
I wait till the last
Yes.
second. You have to literally,
Yes.
like, the gate has to go up on the last car,
Yes.
and then I'll
Same
commit.
way. I'm like, I'm not committing.
No,
So
I agree.
Well, good.
So, yeah, I was trapped behind that guy this morning. Slow driver. Last week, it was the dude that flipped me off.
When you were just trying to give the gentle beep.
Yeah, the beep, beep, beep.
Yep. Hey.
And then, so this morning it was the slow person. And then I'm listening to, we have a huge tournament in Hammond right now. So, like, there's this huge volleyball tournament. It's 3 different conferences, okay?
NCAA.
NCAA Division II women's volleyball tournament.
That's big.
Dude, there's 100.
I would dare say that's the first time that's happened.
It's huge. It's huge
In the
for
region,
us.
right?
And
North
they're it's a great facility. I'm super proud of the Sportsplex. We built it, $20 million facility. It's spectacular.
Well, it's
And
a
I
regional
know-
destination for sports.
And it's literally the whole Midwest is at our complex this week.
So this isn't just Indiana. This is
No,
NCAA
it's the whole,
Division
it's
II.
GLIAC, which is 3 or 4 states, and then it's 2 other conferences.
Wow.
This is a huge volleyball tournament. Okay. And it was brought here by the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and we're real close to them. So we're partnering, and it's good for the sports place.
Former
It's good
Dave
for
Duran,
Hammond.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got like tons of teams all over.
Hotels are
Buses
packed.
all over. My
Right.
neighborhood is like girls jogging and buses everywhere.
Awesome.
It's hundreds of teams. Well, it's 100 teams probably, right? So the local radio station, I listen to it every morning on the way, and it usually gets me fired up. It worked this morning.
Success.
It worked. So like I'm listening to this guy's show. It was fucking. I'm not too impressed with the show. I listen to it. It just gets me like going, right?
Right,
Because
right.
by the time I come in here, I'm usually fit to be tied.
Usually.
Right. So I'm coming.
Today
this
was
morning,
extra special.
like raving, right, Chris? This isn't like this every day, Chris.
No.
He's lying.
By the way, welcome to our. Welcome
Yeah,
to
yeah.
our.
By the way, we got Chris. In
We
the
didn't even
studio.
mention that.
I'm sorry. I come in.
That's how fired up he is. He forgot you were here.
I'm just part of the furniture, just pressing buttons.
Dude, I just
back
came
here.
in. No, I'm just used to you being here, man.
Chris Campbell.
It's not like, yeah, man. I walk in. I'm just used to you. I've been working with you for 20 years.
Last time
So
you
you
almost
don't
gave.
give John the back massage that I got on the way.
I do. I always do the back massage on the way.
Oh,
in.
okay.
Just a quick little squeeze.
I mean,
I
last.
thought maybe it was just me,
Yeah.
but it's
Nope.
whoever's
I
in the
do it
chair.
with you,
You
so
went
I
from
can sexually
special
harass Jill. So if I do it to just Jill, it's sexual harassment. But if I do it to both of you, it's a nice boss.
Understood. Okay.
Equal opportunity.
Is that
Yeah,
how you
man.
took it, Jill?
I took it.
Yeah, Jill's like, it was borderline sexual harassment until he touched Chris.
Then he was just being
Everything's
nice.
fine.
Yeah,
Then
right.
it was just sexual.
But thank you, Chris, for filling in for Jay Vez. Thank you.
Yeah.
Doing a
Anytime.
great job so far.
Thank you.
So anyway, they have the tournament director on this morning on the local radio station.
Nice.
Which makes sense.
Sure.
Because it's a big time thing, and they want to like introduce the tournament director to the local region and get a flavor for what you're about to experience this weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Welcome to the region.
Right. Okay. And then they have the local radio host starts like letting the regular listeners call in and talk to this guy, and they start calling in, and they were like bringing it. It's like my haters. that listen to the station all the time. One of them is named MX. He's a total tool. Okay, he's a freaking moron. All right, he's dumb as hell. He makes our city look like shit because he's a freaking moron. Right,
like a hermit, just doesn't do anything.
I hope he's listening. Right, he's not because he's listening to that station. Right. And this idiot calls in, and like if I'm on the air, like granted, as soon as he'll be the first caller, and he just like whines about something and cries, and he's really doesn't make our city look good.
And like, by the way, the only like his purpose of living is to be able to hear himself on the radio station. Yeah, on the radio station.
So he calls in and he starts going on about like the gas stations closed. Be careful, people get killed here. It's a lot like Gary, and he's just like the freaking tournament director of this humongous tournament we have, and it's like we're super lucky to have snagged this. We want to keep it.
Absolutely. It's an honor to have it.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau, who I like and I support, they're like, hey, let's put this guy, this important man, on WJLB. And so that all the freaking idiots that make our place look like shit could call up and make our place look like shit. Is that impressive? He's like, do I want to be at a place with morons like this that freaking talk about how shitty their city is?
Yeah, and critics.
And like, we intentionally did this. Hey, go over here so we could make ourselves look like shit. It's freaking unreal, man. And then you wonder, like, what the hell is the local radio station doing? Like, what is the positive out of this? Does it make your radio station look better if you're in a dangerous city?
Why do you let guys like that actually call in to talk to
He's a freaking numbnuts
guy from that's the head of a conference that he's just there to talk about the tournament.
Why did they take calls at all?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The guy from the conference is what it's all about.
Right.
Like, make our city look great. Make our county look great. Like, why is MX calling this guy? MX is a freaking idiot.
Right.
And he's an idiot. He calls in every day saying stupid shit. And they're like, okay, let's let MX talk to this important guy. And then he's like, yeah, we're dangerous. People get killed. Don't get gas because we shut our gas stations down. Everybody, it's like, that helps. That helps the cause.
And I mean, what's the guy supposed to say?
He's probably like, what the hell am I doing?
Right.
Why am I talking to this idiot? First off, I'm here promoting a women's D2 volleyball tournament, and I'm talking to MX about Hammond's gas station ordinance.
Yeah, and I mean, there's no control over the call. Like,
no,
hey, can
dude. Dude, it's just that show sucks. It does, and I listen to it because I laugh at, but like this morning, I was just like, what's the goal here? Is the goal to make Hammond look like shit? Because I think that's what the goal is. It's
and
like
the greater region, by the way.
Right.
South Shore Convention and Visitors Bureau.
We have a positive development to happen.
Yes.
Let's put this guy on JLB, and we'll have the freaking moron patrol call in and make us look like shit. It's like, what's the goal here? Is the goal to make us look good or make us look bad? Because you didn't accomplish it.
And I think Dave Uran did a good thing by trying to promote it, get him on the air.
Good intentions.
Yeah, absolutely
good intentions. But it was dropped with the host, Kuziak. The host screwed up because he's like, yeah, let's let these idiots call in and freaking take this positive development and make it look like a typical region bullshit, right?
Yeah. All right.
So anyway, I have that and the slow ass driver. So I was a little fired
There's
up.
your morning.
It's good.
That's all right.
It's going to be a good show.
Let's just roll into the show. By the way, we do have a lot of good stuff to talk about. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in Washington that I know we're going to have fun with, including Representative Santos, update on him from New York. We've got talk about the speaker's race or lack thereof, and then we've got some really good Lauren Boebert stuff, and we're going to finish up the show with some hilarious Taylor Swift things. So Swifties, stay tuned. Maybe because we talk about Taylor Swift, not always in a good manner, or at least not me. That makes our viewership go up.
Oh, does
Swifties.
I love Taylor Swift.
So
Marissa and I had this conversation last night about how I'm becoming a Swiftie.
Oh, then you're not going to like what I have to say at the end.
That's all right.
All right.
Is she on your list?
Yeah. She's definitely on my list.
Of the allowed celebrities that you can...
Yeah, I like
Your hall
that idea.
pass?
Oh, is it celebrities only? Yeah, the hall pass. But like, you can't put your neighbor. You can't put your neighbors on it and stuff like that.
I feel like that's crossing a boundary.
Right? I think, what the hell? If we're going to JFK.
Your kid's fourth grade teacher or
with
something.
Rosie one time. Yeah. And she's got like all these Hollywood actors, Tom Cruise. And I'm like, why don't you put your neighbor on there or something? It makes sense. Put Rosie's sister, stuff like that. Mess with her head a little bit. Love you, Rosie. Rosie's the best, though. She came up with Kevin's nickname, The Compass.
She did. I don't even...
It's such a good nickname.
I like it.
This show
I don't know.
Needs a good compass. And who's that guy? Bing.
Well, bring us back.
So Vesmar's gone.
Yeah.
You know that because you're here. But he didn't fly Southwest Airlines, I bet.
He's kind of anti-Southwest.
He got thrown up one time on. One time. And it's not the airline's fault if you get thrown up. It's the kid's fault. Or it's the He gets thrown up on one time, and he won't fly Southwest anymore.
I find myself liking Southwest just because of the midway advantage. It's like, we live on the south end of
for sure.
the Chicagoland,
Yeah.
so it's so much easier to go to Midway than it is to O'Hare.
I don't like that you can't pick your seat.
Yeah,
I've kind of gotten over that a bit.
I'm early. I'm always like 15, so I get in early, which is huge.
Probably
You pay for the early.
It must be
I
A-list.
just use it so much. I am A-list.
Oh. See, I can
If you're
never- I
A-list,
can't
you get automatic early boarding.
I can barely get to companion. Of the last 2 years, I've only got companion once.
Do you fly Southwest, Chris?
If I have to.
Yeah.
Last time I did.
That's your main go-to?
Is that your preference?
Are you on?
I don't really have a preference. I would rather be able to pick my own seat as well because I'm usually late to things. So
You know what
I'm always boarding in like, all right, now
C40.
you guys come sit down.
Have you heard the companion pass is awesome? I have one.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of this?
No.
It's really cool. So for those of you out there that don't fly Southwest, this is a good educational topic. They have a policy where if you hit a certain level, like if you're a frequent flyer, and I only fly Southwest.
Not only flying, though, you can get points from, like if you have a Southwest
Hotel
credit
stays.
card.
Yeah.
So if you have a Southwest credit card, every dollar you spend is a point.
So you have to hit a certain number of points a year, and if you hit, I think it's like 125,000 points. And if you hit that number, you get companion pass. So what it does is says, okay, Chris, you have a companion pass. You get to pick a companion, and that person flies free with you wherever you go
For the whole year.
for 1 year.
A whole year.
So you'd pick Melissa, and then you would be like, okay, you want to go to San Francisco? You'd buy one ticket to California, and she'd automatically get to fly with you, which is handy, right?
And you get to change your companion like twice a year, I think.
You could change your companion, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you get divorced or something, it's great. Bam, you are no longer my companion, right?
Take your hall pass.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing.
So
Right.
so the question is, once you get the hall pass, once you get the companion pass,
They should change the name of it.
Melissa and I don't have hall pass.
do you
It's
use
weird.
it?
Huh?
Do you use the companion pass?
I thought you were talking about the hall pass.
No.
I do. Not as much as you'd think, though. It's weird. I picked Marissa.
I'm getting close to
Marissa
getting a
and I-
companion pass. This is a dilemma.
Yeah. Well, first, like, I don't understand how you're not at that level yet. Because I'm not, like, you and I are very similar.
Yeah, like I think it's because and I know you do this, like you're good at taking advantage of, like if you're on Southwest, you can choose a hotel and get points.
Yeah, man.
You're
can
the one
stay
who
at a
taught me
hotel.
about this.
They would, like, if you stay at, like, let's say you had to stay at Chicago for, I had, like, a political thing, like Indiana Society or something, and I'm going to stay in Chicago. I'm not just, like, staying at Rando Hotel. I'm like, I look on my Southwest app, and I'll be like, hey, if you stay at Chicago Hilton Towers, we're going to charge you $300, and at the end of the night, we'll give you 10,000 points.
Yeah, see,
I do that all
I
the
didn't
time.
realize that. And
I do
so,
that all the time.
So like because of you, that's what I did on my road trip to Florida. I looked, and the La Quinta in Valdosta gave me 10,000 points.
Yeah.
I stayed there.
Yeah, it's
was
usually a little bit more to stay there, though. It would be like,
Sure, they upped the price
like you
a little
could,
bit.
right, you could stay at La Quinta cheaper in that case.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll say, okay, if you pay full price, like $160 or something, we'll give you 10,000 points.
That's right, and that's what I did. So that actually, because you kind of recommended this last year, because I just missed it, I didn't get my companion
God,
pass.
dude, that's annoying.
I know, no kidding. So then this year I've been real good about trying to get those extra points, and I'm getting very close.
I've been a companion for a few years, and this is the dilemma. This is how Southwest gets you, my theory, okay? They know that if you get companion, you're going to pick Jana. They know that. They know I'm going to pick Marissa, right? So this is how they get you. What you find is you don't travel that often with your spouse, right? Like Marissa travels places, but she goes to like New York, and she'll go with her friends. She'll
Without
go
you.
ski. Not with me, yeah, because I'm back home with Pat and the dogs and taking care of stuff. And when I travel, like we do travel together, but we travel a lot without each other also.
Sure.
So like this
Wow.
is why. So
I've got a decision to make.
yeah, I think you should pick me. It just makes sense. Like I know Jana.
I wonder how that would go over.
Listen, let me explain it to you, Jana. Okay,
All right.
right?
I think
you
I'll let you
travel by
explain it to
yourself,
her.
right? All right, I'll
right.
explain it to her. I think you should pick me.
We
Yeah.
do travel a lot together.
I know. It only makes sense, right?
Isn't it? Aren't you both companion then? Like levels? Isn't that counterproductive?
Well,
Yeah, I think
but
it
then
is,
he could
actually.
pick John.
No,
And then
I
we could do
still have
lock pod
Marissa.
travel.
I still have Marissa. That'll be tough to explain to Jana. You pick Tom and Tom pick Marissa. I like this. I like how it works.
I don't like
out.
this. I don't like the way this is going.
If you're a companion and you have the companion pass, so like Kevin picks you,
Yeah,
could you pick John and then both of you guys fly for free?
I don't know.
Well,
Let's stack this.
Well, but then
thing.
I'd be-
Shit,
Did
it's
you
like
just figure out a loophole?
holy shit.
They're fixing that right
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Way to
they're
go,
like,
way to go,
are you
Chris.
listening to the lock pod? This episode brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
Yeah, that would be a great sponsor. Chris, or let's see, Steve, can you get on that?
Yeah.
Southwest Airlines. We just pumped them up for like the last 20 minutes.
So, okay. So, yeah, I think you should probably pick Jana just to keep it.
Just keep things solid.
Yeah, man. You don't want to, like, get divorced over this or anything.
Over a companion pass?
Over a companion
Or a hall pass?
You and I can pay for our own ticket. It's not a big deal.
Fair enough.
And then we did put the script up, right? And Vesmar always looks at the script, and he made a point this morning. I wish I was in studio to trash Southwest Airline. Got vomited on one of the last times I flew the airline.
Is that really Southwest's fault?
But
though?
he put it in here. Like,
is that really Southwest's fault?
Obviously, he's blaming Southwest.
Yeah.
Like, he went so far as to write into the script. I got thrown up on fuck Southwest.
It's a bad memory for him.
It is. I love that picture, though. Have you seen that picture? It's
No.
awesome.
Classic.
Because
He's
Aaron
like
took
standing in
it.
the,
Do we have
They were
it?
traveling. Oh, I bet
We
you
should
I
put
do.
that on
We
a
have it. We have
t-shirt.
it. We have it
All right,
somewhere.
I'm gonna go looking when we're doing ads.
That's
'Cause
merch. That
Aaron
needs to be
took it,
merch.
and you should see that is merch. That would be a great.
Is it the one where
blockbuster.
John's just standing up in the aisle?
You could tell
He's
he's so
pissed.
pissed. He's sitting there like you just got thrown up
By some like baby.
And Aaron, instead of feeling bad for him, busts out the phone and snaps a picture of him. It's awesome. So yeah, John doesn't fly Southwest anymore.
No. You know, and John's a nervous flyer anyway, so
He-
add
he-
that.
Before we met him, he'd never
Yeah.
flown at all.
No.
Yeah.
All right, well, good. There's Southwest. Let's do some ads. We're going to come back. We're
I
going to
think
talk
I'm
about
calmed
it.
down now.
Oh, good.
I came in.
You're in the lock pod mode. You're
I
ready.
try not to come in pissed off. I come in
But when
pissed
you
off.
do, it's always exciting.
I was like texting people. and
It's
shit.
It was spicy this morning.
I was texting people. I knew I was bad. I was stopped on the stairs on the way up, and I stopped halfway, and I cranked out.
So when Jill came in, I said, God, you beat Mayor even. And she said, no, he's in his car doing something.
cussing, I saw him.
That's what I
punching
do
the
in my
windshield.
car.
Do you? Yeah.
I
when
swear
Fisher
people.
Street is closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Please put a sign at Ridge, though. Tell me I can't
Yeah.
get to Calumet before I go 5 blocks.
So
Not
you were
good.
on
bad signage.
Okay,
Homan.
gotcha,
Ah,
gotcha.
Homan.
Oh, so what did you have to do? You had to backtrack all the way to Ridge.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Oh my God, that
Pretty
sucks.
much.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do some ads, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit of George Santos.
Yeah, George Santos, the Hammond
Yeah.
Marina. We got a little fun
Hammond Marina.
thing happening today
Yeah.
for a former guest of ours here on Lockpod and
Yeah.
somebody close to us.
Guest,
So
guest of season 1,
episode 3, maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Throwback.
why this
That is
bust of
throwback.
him is sitting here.
Yeah, with Abraham Lincoln.
No.
Yeah.
You
Okay, Powered Indiana, Lake County. IBEW Local 697 and NECA proudly introduced Powering Indiana, Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across the region, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Visit JACT697.org, JACT697.org to join us as we continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing always on time and within budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com. That's misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions. I did notice that Misprint's got 2 locations. Munster, they're kind of like their flagship store and where they've always been, and then they have a store that's newer in Hammond that they relocated to, and they have this great signage now on Calumet Avenue. It's really cool. So good job, Rick and team, and congratulations on that big expansion.
Good location.
Really
too.
good location.
You can walk right across the street to Dairy Bell.
You can get
I'm
an ice
sure
cream
that's why they
cone.
picked it.
While you're waiting for your printing to finish, you can walk and get a what's a great
Soft serve?
soft serve, like Dairy Bell twist with sprinkles.
Delicious.
There you go.
Good choice.
Good morning.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. When you're facing legal challenges or injuries, they're here to guide you through the process. Their dedicated team, including John and Kristen Cantrell, is in the court and at the jail every day, ready to fight for your rights. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com and discover how they can make a difference in your case.
I don't have that picture of John, unfortunately.
Someone
Too
said
bad.
no metal business card. It was in the
shoot.
chat.
Did we already do? Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Look
you
at
can
that.
always just do it though, just for kicks.
Calumet Brewing. Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager, is calling you to embrace the great outdoors, the roar of NASCAR, and the joy of cracking a cold one. Celebrate life's moments with Busch Light, and then head over to Cal Brew on Facebook or Instagram for a chance to win a Busch Light Igloo cooler. Visit Bush.com and their social media pages for exciting updates and events. Head for the mountains of Bush and enjoy beers and cheers responsibly.
You know, that cooler's sitting there full of Bush Light. I cannot wait for you to shotgun a warm Bush Light one of these episodes.
Yeah, keep waiting.
Okay.
We should give it to Chris.
See if Chris can shotgun it.
Yeah. We got to give this thing away.
I'm good.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So, exciting day, I think, for your family.
Yeah, my dad's getting the Hammond Marina renamed after him today.
I think that's really cool.
It's going to be the Thomas McDermott Senior Hammond Marina.
Yeah.
Which is great. It's really great. All I need is a crowbar to knock off the S and the R, and it's named after me.
I thought maybe we'd take a picture of you in front of the SR today.
You just need to remove the S.
Yeah, I just
put an R.
I'll there's got to be a picture with me like holding it over the top.
No, I think that's a great honor, though. I mean, for those of you that don't know the story, you know, Tom's dad was mayor from 1983 to 1992, and this was a big deal, right? I mean, you've heard the story.
It's a big deal for my dad, for sure.
Yep.
I know he's super proud.
But, I mean, the whole story, I mean, you know, we all know that, or for mostly that listen, you know, Hammond's a casino city, and the fact is that, and the casino arguably has been the best thing that may have ever happened to the city of Hammond from a revenue standpoint.
I think there's no doubt, actually.
Right?
Well, I mean, it's just as important as the stockyards were when we first
there you
became
go.
the city.
There you go. Comparable, right?
Right.
Two things that made the city kind of
and my dad fought hard for it back in the late 80s and built it to almost $20 million back in the late 80s.
Think about that.
Tremendous.
$20 million in the late 80s.
That's like $100 million-ish,
Yep.
$80 million nowadays, which is a hell of a lot of money. And fought like crazy to get it passed and built. And I remember one time we were on vacation in California, and he had to fly home like right in the middle of the vacation because of a fight with the council, which got to be annoying. I didn't understand it then. But like back then, I pictured the Hammond City Council like I picture Congress. To me, it was like that high level. And if my dad had to fly back to Hammond, then it was a big
vote.
It was like, holy crap! Like he's got to fight with the council. Like holy crap! But as a little kid, I'm like, damn man, this is high level stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, like you flew back from vacation for that? Like you can't do that stuff on the phone.
But
like,
I mean, back then there wasn't like you had a smartphone.
No,
you know,
he literally left right in the middle of vacation, flew back to Hammond, and fought it out with the council. Went to a council meeting, and they passed the.
And this is a council that wasn't his party.
No,
I mean,
he was a Republican, and the council was Democrat.
Right, and so that's a big deal.
And they were all Democrats, and they passed the ordinance to build a Hammond Marina and spend $20 million in the late 80s.
And bring in the Milwaukee Clipper, which was like a
Clippers.
passenger boat, right? I mean,
it was like a Great Lakes vessel that had seen better days.
Mm-hmm.
And they moored it permanently in Hammond, and they had visions of, like, this is going to become a casino, and people are going to stay on it and cruise the Great Lakes.
But there wasn't even talk about casinos then in the late 80s.
No, but they pictured it differently. Because the Great Lakes, the thing that's interesting, I don't think it's as interesting for us here in the region, is when you go to other parts of the Great Lakes, like if you're in Upper Michigan and stuff like that, shipping is a huge part of their existence, their daily existence. And we live on the water, basically. We're in Hammond, and we don't even pay attention to the lake. We have a marina, but like there's no shipping, there's no jobs. There's
You see them in the distance, the ore boats are flying,
but like,
going along.
you know, you go up,
yeah.
to Petoskey, you go up in that part of Michigan over there in the Lower Peninsula, but close to the Upper Peninsula, in Mackinac, in that area.
Merchant Marines are huge.
Their entire existence is built around the water and the shipping industry. So I think my dad back then was picturing like Hammond would be a stop, which I think is a noble goal, because Chicago is a stop, I guess, but we don't take advantage of that.
And there were also like, ideas of getting passengers on the Great Lakes again back then.
Yeah,
so I think
like
that was
commuting to Chicago and
absolutely.
stuff. Yeah.
But I mean,
we've heard proposals about that
for sure. And I think that's the interesting thing, right? So the idea is that, and by the way, before the marina became the marina, it was literally like a concrete and slag heap that I used to go to in high school for like either hanging out with your girlfriend.
Were you too young for that, Jill?
Yes.
Do you remember Bobby
Chris?
Beach? Okay.
You?
Probably.
Chris?
Too young for that?
I don't remember Kevin hanging out with his girlfriend.
No. Did you go to Bobby Beach when you were a kid?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't think so.
I never really did either.
We did.
But you were cool.
We did after football games.
But you were cool.
Every
You
Friday.
hung out with cool kids. I was a dork.
Every Friday night, we would go to Bobby Beach, hang out there after football games, and it was a party. And it was just like,
what would you guys do? Drink beer and stuff?
yeah, drink.
Is that the same as Flat Rock?
Yeah, that was out there. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Flat Rock
There you
was-
go. Was
Oh,
an
so
area
you went out there?
Yeah. So if you went to Flat Rock,
I'm
right?
not
So
admitting anything.
Oh, yeah. Where is it, like, physically? Is it like where the data center is in that area, or?
no, more like
So-
where the marina is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over there.
Oh yeah, it was more like where the marina is now. truthfully, and kind of also to the where the conservation area is.
Okay.
So yeah, but anyway, I mean, the fact that it turned into a marina, and then the fact that Indiana became a casino gaming state and was looking for places where you needed to have a boat. Hammond was natural.
Dad, I would love to think he had that in mind the whole time. I don't know if he did.
But it's great vision.
He made it possible.
Yeah.
Because without a marina, when it became time in Indiana to legally gamble on riverboats, Hammond was able to qualify. And if we didn't build that marina, we would have had to build a marina before we could even qualify. We would have never had a gaming boat, which in retrospect is absolutely huge. It's like you said, I think it's just as big as the stockyards were for Hammond.
Agreed.
Just as big. And the stockyards is what started our city. Like, if you look at Hammond's charter, it's got a cow on it.
Yep.
And I don't see one cow in our city right now.
Not anymore.
Right? But back then,
so.
there were a lot of carcasses came through Hammond.
They did. Yeah. So, yeah, it's huge. And congratulations to you and your family and to your dad especially. So
it's really cool. Exciting. He deserves it. He definitely does.
Agree.
And I think if you've been mayor for 3 terms, I think that's where people start talking about naming stuff after you. And I think that's a pretty good thumb rule. No, I'm not saying anything about myself. I'm fine with this. But what I'm saying is Brian Snedeker, Mayor of Hobart, I think he did 4 terms, is out. This is his last term, and they're naming a bridge after him in Hobart. And so
Dave Uran did how many?
Dave did 3. He got something named after him recently, too. I'm trying to think what it was.
Was it the Sportsplex or something out there, like their community sport area, maybe? I don't remember.
Something like that.
Yep.
But Dave Uran had something named after him in Crown Point. And, so.
What do you want named after you?
The sewer plant.
Okay.
Yeah, the Tom McDermott shit plant. That would be.
Because you're the shit?
Yeah, Jill.
I like you, Jill. Nice. I was going to say full love, but I like yours better.
Yeah, that's
good. It works both ways.
The Thomas McDermott wastewater plant.
Because he's and then in parentheses, because he's the shit.
I like it.
Good job, Jill.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a quick answer, though, right? That was not on the script.
That was not. That is Jill just being witty.
I don't get the script. I don't get the script.
Yeah.
If you get a damn iPad.
It's all unscripted.
It is. Jill is walking the tight wire.
The original unscripted person.
She's like
in
old
our
school
show.
like that.
That's right. Just brings it.
All right. So, Kevin, talk to me about your favorite congressperson.
This is low on my list. We went through this last maybe season 8, maybe season 9 about George Santos and what a fraud the guy is.
So I don't know if you guys have noticed on LockPod, we do stories and then we keep you updated. This is an update
because when we do a story, generally it's like this is not the end of this.
Right.
We know there's more.
Right.
We know there's going to be better stuff for us to talk
Well,
about.
George Santos is the gift that keeps on giving. He's Trump-like in that regard. Right.
Trump and Rokita-like.
Right. So George Santos recently had new charges filed against him. And if you remember, originally George Santos gets elected and charges immediately start coming out that this gentleman embellished his resume.
To the point of the fact that almost the whole thing was embellished.
Yeah, pretty much the entire resume appeared to have been manufactured, including claims that he owned numerous properties, which he didn't, that he was employed by Goldman Sachs, which he wasn't, that he was employed by Citigroup, which he wasn't, that he graduated from Barrett's College. He didn't. And then when he ran for Congress 2 years before that, you have to put all your financials down when you're running for federal office.
I think he was Jewish. He wasn't Jewish. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Not a Jew. And then so...
Wasn't he cross-dressing too? Or
Yep.
Down in Brazil or something.
Madam something or other, right?
Yeah.
He's a huge con man. And it comes out. He conned his way into Congress.
Whoa.
That's the title. Conned his way into Congress. But so where was I going with this? We did embellish. Campaign finance.
Yeah.
So in 2020, he runs for Congress unsuccessfully. In 2022, he runs again. But in 2020, he puts down, he's making $55,000 a year. Okay, which is wonderful.
2020. Yeah,
in 2020, he lost that race. 2 years later, when he's running, he loans his campaign $700,000. Now I don't know too many, right? And if you have $700,000 in the bank, you have to list it in 2020, because if you have more than X amount of dollars, you have to put it down where it is. And so in 2020, he has nothing to his name. In 2022, he loans his campaign committee $700,000
out of nowhere.
Right. So
and like the whole thing, right? Like the interesting part about this is he got charged, and the Republicans didn't really say they were going to get rid of him. They just said, okay, we need it. It was actually at the time when McCarthy needed his vote during the 15-round fiasco.
Yeah, right.
So we're going to see what happens.
He's shopping his vote right now. He's just talking to Democrats.
Wow.
I'm telling you, man. They only need, what,
4
crossovers?
They need 5, right?
If they get 5 Republicans to support Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker, you would have a Republican majority with a Democratic Speaker of the House. They're literally 4 votes away from it.
That ain't happening.
Like George Santos, he doesn't care who he votes for. He's on his way out.
Yeah.
Well, let's keep going.
Yep.
So that was the original charges against Santos, right? Well, unfortunately for him, new charges have been filed. So
these are even crazier.
These are even more bold. So obviously the feds, when they see what's going on originally, they start to sink their teeth in, and then they start digging, right? And they're digging now, and they're finding even more juicier crimes that has been allegedly committed by this congressman. So a 23-count superseding indictment issued on Tuesday against Congressman Santos. Let's see. Did you get details on that?
He took his donor's credit card information.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. You've donated to a guy, and he takes your credit card information.
Right. Isn't
that is
crazy?
Insane.
Like identity theft. This guy's a congressman, and he's got all the information for people that are donating to him, and everything federally is done by credit card now. You can't take cash. So I guess presumably you could write checks, but quite frankly, when I ran for Senate, out of the 100% of all donations made, I would say a solid 85% of them came through electronic. A solid 85%.
Sure.
You get checks every once in a while, but no cash. So everything this guy does is reviewable by the federal government, and they're digging. He's in big trouble.
And he also
this guy's going to prison.
He claimed, without a doubt, he's
going to prison for a significant amount of time. And his fellow Republican lawmakers from New York are
finally,
they're moving to expel him.
Finally,
right
this time around,
he's not going to make it. This is like his fellow New York congressman.
Yeah, the whole delegation.
The
whole Republican delegation.
Today, I'll be introducing an expulsion resolution to rid the people's house of fraudster George Santos, said Rep. Anthony D'Esposito, Republican from New York. He told reporters he considers Santos a stain on the House and on New York State. It's time that we move on from George Santos, he said. The resolution is going to be co-sponsored by fellow New York Republican Nick Lalota, Mike Lawler, Mark Molinaro, Nick Langworthy, and Brandon Williams. Lalota said he considers Santos a immoral and untrustworthy person. The sooner he's gone, the better, he said. Booting Santos would require a 2/3 vote of the entire House, a benchmark Lalota seems confident of meeting. I predict this resolution is going to catch fire. Many people feel how we do, he said. Now, if you remember,
we can get all Democrats.
So they can expel him, okay? And if they expel him, the process is you go back to New York, that congressional district, and you have another election, right?
Well, I don't know, because in Indiana, wouldn't the first congressional district chair
You're right, in Indiana. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's state by state.
So in Indiana, there would be a person appointed to fill out the rest of the term, which is always short.
It's Congress, right? But it's House of Representatives, but it'd still be through next year, a year and a half.
Right. Wow.
There's important votes like
he's
the House
gone.
Speaker.
So he's probably within a week.
I thought they said maybe they are going to. Yeah, I don't know how long that takes. I guess you need a House Speaker to bring it up to a vote.
Isn't this crazy?
We're going to talk about that after the break.
What a dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to talk about.
And the world has gone to shit since the Republicans fired Kevin McCarthy as Speaker. I mean, the world has gone to shit. Literally, we have World War III literally breaking out. And
hopefully not. But
the Republicans can't even figure out. Well, I mean, the thing that scares me is we have war on two fronts. Obviously what's going on in Israel and Palestine. Obviously what's going on over in Ukraine, which is weird, isn't it weird? Nobody talks about Ukraine anymore.
Well,
I read the news.
That's like the news cycle, right?
Show.
It's like I know there's a new show, right?
There's a new show on. Yeah.
It seems like it. Like what? Suddenly nothing's going on in Ukraine anymore?
Well, the only thing I've heard is just in reference to the speakership. Like you can't fund Ukraine if you can't fund Israel, if you can't have a House Speaker to bring things up for a vote.
Well, the government's about to shut down in a few weeks too.
You got that going. Thank you, Republicans. All right, so let's say you want to go on Santos a little more, or are we done on Santos?
I don't really have too many things.
The only thing I was going to say about Santos, the other thing he did, which is amazing, is he falsely said that his family members donated to his campaign to cover up other donations. Wow. It's insanity.
And see, doesn't this guy... I think it's funny when people fill out campaign finance reports.
Yep.
I'm talking about elected officials. The way I look at my campaign finance report is this is my insurance policy. This is what's going to cover my ass if I'm ever questioned on what's going on with me. Because people think about it. as an elected official, people give you money, and they trust that you're going to put that money in the right account. And if you're not a trustworthy person, you keep that money if you're untrustworthy. And then a lot of people say, okay, so this is how I think. You give me $1,000, I put it on the campaign report. So if I'm ever questioned, I could be like, yeah, Chris gave me $1,000, and on my campaign report it says Chris gave me $1,000.
And this guy's lying on who gave it to him.
Can you believe that? It's unbelievable.
Well, it just is like, how do you think they're not going to go ask your Aunt Sally? Like,
the FBI is not going to ask a congressman or in the donors of a congressman. All they have to do is knock on Aunt Sally's door.
Especially this guy that's already been indicted, and then he does it again on another campaign report. It's crazy. And then
he's like, "What the hell is he thinking?"
Yeah,
I mean, obviously he's a fraudster. Obviously he's a total con. It's like a total con, like conned his way into Congress.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens on the vote. I would imagine he's going to get booted, and then we're going to have another person from the 3rd district in New York.
Chris is a normal person. So is Jill. You guys are real normal people.
Thank you.
I know you guys well. We work together. So, and I appreciate having you in here for this. Does this like flash across your radar at all in the normal life? Like, because for me, this is my world. I read this stuff and it pops up on my algorithm. Is this like flashing? Does your family ever talk about this stuff or anything like that? No, this isn't like. No. I wonder if it'd be different if this was our congressman. Like if it was Frank.
Sure, of course.
It'd be way more important
more kitchen
for us.
Talk. Yeah.
Right. So obviously in New York is a big deal.
And his response was, if they want to be the judge, jury, and arbiter of the whole goddamn thing, let them do it, Santos said, responding to the resolution as he ran to his office from a Republican conference meeting. They just want to silence the people of the 3rd Congressional District.
Oh, yeah, they're so proud. Mm-hmm. They're so proud of you, George. Yeah. I think my mother-in-law...
He's called it a witch hunt.
I think he's my mother-in-law,
You're
Lynn's.
Kidding.
I think
Long Island? I thought he was...
He's Brooklyn, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know his district.
I mean, it's out there. They're close. If it's not, Lynn's congressman, he's close. So, anyway, all right. So let's go ahead. We'll do some ads. We'll come back. We got an update on the craziness with the House Speaker, which we talk a little bit about that, and we have the nuttiest story about Lauren Boebert.
And Lauren, it's an update. Last time we talked about her.
It's an update.
And last time we talked about her, she was groping and vaping in a Beetlejuice musical in Denver.
Her date really loved that musical.
Yeah, he did.
Hell yeah. They're like, did you like Beetlejuice? He's like, I loved it.
And he liked her dress.
So that's our congresswoman from Colorado. So,
yes.
All right. So we'll do some ads. We'll come back. And again, I want to thank Chris for covering Jay Vez. It's nice to see you in the studio. Appreciate you.
The pressure's going to be on in the next segment because there's video that we need. All right, Chris. So just focus. Get focused.
A lot of pressure.
He's been prepping the whole show.
Ready. Yeah, he's been ready.
Pressemer Insurance.
His whole life for this.
Pressemer Insurance Agency. For decades, the Ron J. Pressemer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. Their wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, has helped over 1,000 individuals and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery welcoming you to their spacious taproom and outdoor patio. Enjoy award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provide a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, reunion, or a corporate party. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Customer service is their top priority at Byway Brewing, just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Are you currently navigating complex legal challenges, unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, need assistance in forming your business, or have experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Kuklakis Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, their team is ready to help. Call Kuklakis Law today at 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation.
You know, I wanted to answer that question. Are you currently navigating complex legal challenges, unsure of where to turn for guidance? I was thinking Congressman Santos. Yes, I am.
Yeah, right. George Santos.
George Santos.
Oh, I thought you meant he could represent you.
Oh.
He's a lawyer.
Kuklakis Law can.
His resume says he's a lawyer.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Past the bar. Indiana.
All over.
Strange.
He's got a national law license. There was a guy that used to say that.
Really?
I have a national law license. And
he
was total lying.
By his local state.
It's like, what? We have a national law. Steve will remember.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, their siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit our website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Thanks to all our sponsors, including our sponsor of our episode today, Tortillas Nuevo Leon.
Yeah.
So speaking of, I think Jill said it earlier, right now the House of Representatives is a bit of a dumpster fire.
It's so crazy.
It's just amazing. Like, and John said this before, he's like, listen, and he's not one to credit Democrats much, but he said, listen, when Democrats need to stay together, they stick together.
Listen, Nancy Pelosi, whether you love her or you hate her, you can't say she was a bad speaker. We never had any shit like this when she was in charge. And we never had anything like this.
I heard when I was traveling on my road trip, I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I listened to that daily, New York Times Daily, which is, in my opinion, a great podcast. And they had a congressman, one of the Freedom Caucus guys from Nebraska.
Yeah,
and he's like, he basically said that, right? Mm-hmm. He said, look, I'm a conservative Republican, but I'll tell you one thing: when Nancy Pelosi was Speaker, this shit wasn't going to happen.
I know.
She knew how to get her caucus in shape. Yeah,
she was tough lady.
Very.
Yeah, she ran it with the iron fist.
Like it's supposed to, like in a way.
Democrats are good like that, which is probably why I would have been a bad congressman. No, seriously, like you're not supposed to think. You're supposed to just shut the hell up and vote like they tell you to.
Well, I think in certain votes, it's important to stay together. I mean, we know that from
in all votes they stay together, which I'm not. I'm criticizing, and I'm not. And the part of me that's not criticizing it says, "Good job, Speaker Jeffries. You keep your entire caucus 100% behind you,"
and
which is super powerful.
Yep.
Every time there's an issue, he literally is voting with 200 plus people.
212,
which is awesome. Okay, so that's the part of me that says, "Good job, Speaker Jeffries." The bad part is, I think America wants to see more people that are
independent
thinking
thinkers
for themselves, right?
Or thinking for their district.
Thinking for their district, thinking for what's good for the country instead of thinking what's good for your party. So those two are completely inconsistent.
Sometimes they're inconsistent. I think sometimes it's important to stay
sometimes.
together.
I think it's okay. I think it's important to stay together sometimes, but there's sometimes, like I've seen the votes that Frank has taken since he's been there, and I would have been with him on most of them, but not all of them.
Well, I think even I remember on this show you've criticized the state caucus for sometimes not sticking together. Like, why can't we only got 20-some people? And you're like, why don't they stay together? Yeah. So I think it depends on the situation.
You're right.
Yeah.
I have. So
yeah,
I mean, impossible. What can I say?
No. I'm just saying you can be, but that's okay.
No, I have criticized them. It's ridiculous. But they're good point.
All right, so
good job. You made me look like an asshole.
No, I didn't. I'm just saying that I think that I think it depends on the situation, and you've brought up certain situations where it's important to stick together, and I think, like you said, it's important to be an independent thinker at times too.
I think that sometimes in Congress they're making votes that affect people like myself, and they don't think about that. And not just me. Like a guy like me when I'm running for U.S. Senate, for instance, in a state like Indiana, and you have the squad out there making outrageous statements about our party. And then in my race, they're taking these outrageous statements that are made from a congresswoman that represents Manhattan, and they apply it to me in Indiana. And I don't really support the congresswoman from Manhattan, and I don't support the statements she makes. And yet I'm dead meat in my state because she makes those statements in Manhattan.
Well, I think another thing you've said on the show, which I think is true, Mayor, is that you've said some of the votes that you are, kind of quote unquote forced to take as a party or as a caucus, they don't translate to your district.
Yeah.
Like you talked about, for example, the vote about transgender athletes.
Mm-hmm. That one in particular.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Jill and I did. I think it's, if you have a little girl like I do, well, I don't, she's not little anymore, but when you have a daughter and if your daughter's in sports and you think about the possibility of your daughter being hurt by a woman that was born a male and had testosterone in his body, in his DNA, all the way through, let's say, 16, 17, 18, 19, when they transition and become a female, and then they want to wrestle or they want to play in basketball or they want to compete against your daughter, and your daughter's been a girl her whole life. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think it's coincidental that a lot of these women that were born male are setting records. It doesn't surprise me because in my opinion, they were men.
And you wonder
their whole lives.
And you wonder how is that fair to female athletes that have been female
Right.
athletes their whole
I support
life?
women's sports.
Well, you saw that in swimming. These people that are like record holders,
Right.
and all of a sudden they're getting killed by
Right.
people that kill, meaning like beat badly in
Right.
time. I didn't mean killed
Right.
literally, but by people that are not female their whole life.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't think it's fair.
it's concerning. So anyway,
But Congress made a vote on that.
yeah,
And
they forced a vote on it, which was dumb.
And the
Well, it
Republicans
was smart by the Republicans.
Republicans forced the Democrats to take a
It
position.
was smart by the Republicans.
And Leader Jeffries, I don't know if it was a demand or what, but the entire caucus voted that way.
Yep.
Now, let me tell you something. All right? God bless the LGBTQ community. I support them. Okay?
Absolutely. You always have.
Always have. I always will. Okay? I had an uncle that, went through a hell of an existence because he was gay growing up in the 70s. Okay? So I saw that as a little kid, and it had an impact on me. I support the LGBTQ community. I always have. Okay? But that vote that Congress took, and our congressmen and all the Democratic congressmen in America said, we think that anybody should be able to play in women's sports. And it's so important that we're going to take a vote in Congress. So now you take that vote, and I go to a local union hall, and I go to a bunch of carpenters, and I go to a bunch of operating engineers, I go to a bunch of Teamsters, and we talk about that issue, and they all have daughters, and they're like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. You as a party are saying that your son that just converted over to become a woman should compete against my daughter. And they think it's crazy.
And it distances people from the party.
And these people should be with us because they're union members.
Absolutely, they should.
Right? But we're alienating them by taking stupid positions
on social issues.
Right.
And
in Congress.
And
Congress has any business talking about this?
And Democrats, if anybody in Indiana, should know how dangerous it is to take positions on social issues because it was going to sink Mike Pence.
It was going to.
It was going to sink Mike Pence if he didn't get taken off on a helicopter to Manhattan and nominated as vice president. So I mean, I think it's a lesson. But anyway, the reason we were here to talk, we kind of got off track.
We did get off
was
track.
about the dumpster fire that's happening in the House of Representatives in their failure to elect a speaker and the impact that's having on America. First of all, in January, it took them 15 votes to get McCarthy in. And then Matt Gaetz waited in, lying in waiting for the right time, decided to file the motion to vacate the House speakership. He was able to get 5 people, and that just goes to show you what craziness it is when you allow one member to file a motion to vacate because you got 5 people that think like you in the current Congress. You get to kick the speaker out.
Because you got 5 of you plus the entire Democratic caucus of 212.
Yep.
So you got 217.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to vote for Kevin McCarthy.
No.
So if you got 5, you got
good
217,
reason, by the way.
Right?
Yeah.
So these 5 just have to turn their backs against the party, and they team up with 212, and all of a sudden you could topple the Speaker of the House.
So now you're in a situation, right? Crazy. It's crazy.
It is
crazy.
Now,
and that's why it was the first time it ever happened because this new rule, right? So now we're in a situation where the GOP is obviously fractured, and the Democrats are saying we're 212, we're sticking together, and they need 217.
Now this is a perfect example of sticking together.
Yep.
No,
powerful.
This is, hell yeah. You can't cooperate with the Republic. They're a dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
Let them continue to be a dumpster fire.
And they're showing it. So earlier this week on Wednesday, the caucus, and what that means is like the Republicans all get together in a room, closed off, can't, nobody can go in except members of the caucus. They go ahead and say, we're going to nominate as speaker designate, which is like, here's who we're going to put on the floor for a vote, Steve Scalise, who has been the majority whip for a while. And
he was the one that was shot
in the baseball game.
Right.
He's battling cancer right now.
Right.
And they decide to put him up. And next thing you know, here's Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about why she's not going to support Steve Scalise.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Are you talking about my ability to play it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Representatives and get on the House floor.
What's your major concerns with Scalise?
He is battling cancer. My father died of cancer, and I have great compassion for him for that. We have a president right now that clearly has dementia. We have Chuck Schumer, who's 80 years old, is the Democrat leader in the Senate. We have Mitch McConnell, who looks like he has many strokes on camera, over 80 years old in the Senate. We need a strong fighter for the Speaker of the House in the Republican Party, and this is how the American people feel. I wish him the best. I want him to recover, but I want his full energy and efforts to focus on that, and I think that's the right thing to do.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That is so brutal.
I don't know. Are they?
I do like eggs.
John's gonna. All right.
Eggs are good.
I actually said John. Chris is.
I cannot.
I blame
believe
John for that.
I cannot believe that.
I know.
He looks like he has mini strokes.
Or he's like, what's your problem with Scalise? Well, he's got cancer.
I mean, she's so stupid.
She's crazy.
I mean,
But I
there's
mean,
so
this
many
is
people. How many people are offended by that? Like, I don't like her, so I'm not offended. I just laugh.
I'm the
How
same
many people
way.
that are open-minded that watch that she alienated? Like, if your family's affected by cancer,
Yeah.
you hate her.
If you have to be over 80.
if you're senior at all, you hate her. Like, everything she said was repulsive too. And she's trying to attract. Like, she's lost people like us. So the 50% of us are out. She's alienating. For
I don't know.
my.
I mean, but I guess the reason I wanted to play that was it's just epitome of what's going on in the Republican caucus right now. They don't have their shit together. And so Steve Scalise basically says, look, I'm withdrawing. Late last night, he said, I'm out. I can't. Number one, he wasn't able to get the 217. Number two, he's like, I'm not going to be blamed for the government shutting down, the government not being able to work.
You're going to be the face of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the problem.
You're the face of the government shutdown, which is like gets back to what we talked about when it's government shutting down. When the new speaker comes in, and they're also trying to make a deal with the new speaker where they have the same deal that McCarthy had, where
they can
any
vote him
two
out.
of us could get rid of you at any time. So we'll put you up there, and if you don't shut down the government and you don't screw Biden over and become a stick in the mud, we'll fire you.
And you can't give any money to Ukraine.
Right. And then, so you're the guy that's telling Ukraine screw off.
You're
the
that
guy
guy.
that's shutting the government down.
Yeah.
Who wants to be that guy? They should just put Gates up there.
I put Hakeem Jeffries, and then they want to. He can't do anything. He won't be able to do anything either. I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
So, I mean, this is where we're at, and now they're saying Jim Jordan, and Jim Jordan is, obviously a little bit of a lightning bolt because of his behavior throughout the January 6th hearings, and before, and his, just kind of his history. And there's Republicans that are already saying they won't support him. So here we go.
They may end up with Hakeem Jeffries.
I don't know who they're going to end up with. It's going to maybe that, or it's going to be some guy that just nobody, everybody likes just fine, and he's not going to ruffle any feathers in the caucus. But then, what is he? He's going to have to make some decisions,
I would
right?
be like, I'll be the speaker. I'm not making any deal. Like, once you elect me speaker, I got the rest of the term, unless I
you have to
commit
do that,
treason or,
and that's exactly what
like a impeachable crime.
It's interesting because that's what Scalise basically said in his way out. He said, "I didn't cut any deals. I don't support, and I'm not," because they said you support Jim Jordan. I didn't cut any deals, and I'm not going to.
Right.
I think that's smart. So
they should make Lauren Boebert the next speaker.
this is awesome. This is really good.
This is a congresswoman we're talking about. Okay.
Yes.
A Republican congresswoman from Colorado. She's the one that a few weeks ago we had video of her in a play of
In a
Beetlejuice.
compromising position, and even
Compromising.
before that,
she was wearing a very, very.
Before that, remember we played her when she was in Dallas at some big Christian church raising money.
Yeah.
Talking about Christian values and all this.
And then she's literally touching the crotch of her date. He's touching her boobs, breasts.
Vaping.
She's vaping in there, and she's vaping in Colorado, which means she's getting high. She's doing this in a theater, and there's a pregnant lady behind her asking her to stop, and she's basically like fighting verbally with the pregnant lady behind her, like screw you, vaping, blowing smoke up in there. She's just being an asshole.
Then they removed her. She flipped off the guy. Like the usher,
Flipped
the poor
off
like
the
young
staff.
usher that flipped off the staff on her
She was
way
like,
out.
F you on the
and
way
then
out.
like denied everything, and then the video came out and she had to apologize.
Well, this was a dark theater, and she thought that it was dark for everything, even cameras, but cameras could see through the
infrared.
darkness. And she's literally like getting her guest aroused.
It's a
next
little
to her.
much.
She's like touching him, and in the darkness.
You can use your
where it's safe.
imagination.
Right. So anyway, she's in the middle of a divorce, believe it or not. And, I think it's tasteless that these photographers follow her around and take pictures of her in moments like when she's getting divorced, but it is good stuff, and we're using it on Lockpod, so I appreciate them doing it at the same time.
Yeah, so here's a photo of her. She had her divorce hearing on Tuesday this week. And
so it's literally she's divorced now from her ex-husband.
It was going to be. And here she is just kind of like squatting down in between two cars having a smoke.
With her ex-husband.
Yeah.
She's like hiding from the press. So, and of course they saw her out. She's crouched between two parked cars, like in a sitting position, not sitting on the ground, but just crouched down, smoking a cigarette, and her husband's sitting there smoking a cigarette. And they're obviously having some type of conversation where they probably are.
Right after the divorce.
They literally, just getting divorced. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, yep, this sucks. I'm sorry. Doing that kind of stuff, I'm sure. And you could tell I'm sure they love each other, and they've known each other for years.
Yep.
It's
High
tough.
school sweethearts or something.
It's a tough moment.
And then it finishes with this. Here she is after the hearing. and talk about like paparazzi, man. These guys had to be.
Yeah,
like,
they were like literally camping out,
stalking her
Did you
out.
click on that one, Chris.
Is that the?
What are we looking for?
The
next
video.
Picture. Oh, do you have a picture of it?
Oh, he might just have the picture. Oh, there it is. Yep, here it is.
Dude, they're like straight making out.
Yeah, but like you said, it's like a tender moment.
It's a tender, like he is literally going for the tonsils. It's
well, maybe he thinks it's his last time.
Okay, this is like a kiss. There it is. They're like straight making out.
They didn't care.
And like everybody's snapping pictures. Like this is not like a peck. This is like he's going a few inches deep with his tongue. It's like,
oh God,
dude, it's so crazy. I'm like,
yeah. Well, maybe they're all sad that it didn't work out.
This chick is unbelievable.
I
it's
think
like
it's pretty trashy. I'm just gonna say that it seems to be pretty trashy.
Like, okay, when I'm in public with my wife and there's cameras around, we that's like public display of affection for us. Like hug, kiss. Like this is straight.
It goes on and on. It's still
out.
going.
It's still going on.
Chris?
They're like totally like.
Where are you at on this, Chris?
I don't know. How much more of it do you want?
That's enough.
Good. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah, right. She's like, stop, please. That's some crazy crap.
Why would
man.
you want to make out with your newly ex-husband?
Thank you. Right?
That's so weird.
Well, first off, why would he want to make out with her?
Either way, yes.
Who felt the worst? Do you think she feels bad or he feels bad?
She feels bad.
She feels bad.
She's the one to promote. She ran for Congress. I'm sure this wasn't the only incident we know about. I'm speculating that the one we saw on tape is not the only incident we saw.
But they were already separated then. It wasn't like she was just
okay.
Right. I mean, so
I'm
going through a
imagining.
divorce.
I'm imagining this isn't an isolated.
Maybe
incident.
she went to Washington, just learned a new life or something. Because you think she feels bad.
I think she went to
sure.
Washington and experienced other men, and then said, "Why am I married? All these other guys are interested in me, and I'm married to this schmuck."
So there's our Lauren Boebert update, and she's in the middle of a race. I mean, it's coming up soon, and there's already a guy out. The guy that barely lost to her last time.
They have a sign up in Colorado. Kevin sent it to me yesterday, Chris. There's a picture of Lauren. It said, Lauren Boebert, she'll jerk you off. It's like that
was the campaign sign.
It's the campaign sign. It's
posted on somebody's lawn.
It's so
I was like,
brutal.
You got to vote for that.
Whoa.
She'll jerk you around. I like that. Don't vote for her. She'll jerk you around.
Yeah.
So
bad.
brutal, dude.
It's brutal. So another person that we've talked about recently, and we're going to end the show with a couple fun videos about Taylor Swift. So as you know,
thank God for TikTok, right?
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
become part of our show.
And so let me set this up. As you guys all know, I kind of complained about the fact that Taylor Swift went crazy in the Bears game.
Yeah.
When the Bears were losing by 30 and Kelsey, her new boyfriend, scored a touchdown, and it was like he won the Super Bowl.
Right.
And I kind of was like, did you see the mom? Did you see
Right.
Kelsey's mom?
Uh-huh.
She kind of was just like hanging out, and she didn't really react like that.
Yeah.
And so this interview was on the Today Show about Kelsey's mom interaction with Taylor Swift, and I thought it was brutal.
Okay.
Here we go.
Could see you at home on our TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the first time you'd met Taylor?
Yeah, it's fairly new, so I don't like to talk about it. It's just one of those things where, obviously everybody saw me. I was in the boxes with her, and it's just another thing that's amped up my life.
Yeah. What was she like? What was it? I mean, so you got to know her a little bit. Got to see her at a couple games. How was it?
It was okay. Yeah.
Well, we both met her, and we've always sort of just been delighted by her way.
Yeah.
Did Travis say, "Mom, if you get on the Today Show and start spilling the beans, would you get a little?"
That was like.
He told her not to say anything.
She can't say anything.
Agreed. She's not trying to be rude. It comes off, I think, as rude, right?
They asked her, what'd you think of her? She's okay.
No, this is how I see it. What do you think, Joe? Tell me.
You guys are Swifties.
I think that when that first time in the booth, that was the first time she met her, so I think that was super freaking awkward.
Yeah, man.
That's really
You're on national TV like multiple times, sitting next to a pop star. Like if
that
Michael
your
Jackson
kid's dating that you never met before.
That your kid's dating, and it's like the biggest thing people are talking about in the NFL at that time, right? Okay, I agree. And then I think Travis probably called his mom and said, "Mom, don't fuck this up.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is my freaking. I'm trying to like make this real. Don't fuck this up." And so she gets asked the question, and she says, "Yeah."
She said, "How do you like her?" Wouldn't you be like, "Oh, she's really nice. She's sweet. She's this. She's this."
Right.
Like, okay.
I have a feeling
Okay.
that's what happened. That's the way I see it. What do you think happened? You think she doesn't like her?
I don't know. I think she's like, I'm a football mom. I just see my sons play football in the NFL. She's probably gone to like high school, Pop Warner, high school, college.
By the way, like Travis Kelce's freaking everywhere now.
Agreed.
Like,
well, why do you think every NFL game now that Travis Kelce's in, they show Taylor Swift like 20 times?
Agree.
Because it's helping their ratings.
But like, why would she want to screw
their
that
ticket
up?
sales like triple the day after.
Well,
she
the
went to
Chiefs, you can't get a ticket to the Chiefs
or anywhere,
right?
Even the away games.
Travis Kelce jerseys are now like
Travis Kelce jerseys,
Yeah.
right? So like, why would she want to screw that up?
She's not.
She's not
screwing it. Mom's not
she
screwing
likes
it
her.
up.
I guarantee you, she likes her. Taylor
What's
Swift
not
is
to
a
like?
sweetheart. Taylor Swift's a sweetheart.
All right.
She is, man.
I agree. I don't have anything against Taylor Swift, by the way. It's
do you
just
like
about
her, Chris?
I don't have anything against her either.
It's
do you
about
know,
how
do you know anything about her or much? Or
I mean, I hear songs on the radio all the
oh,
time.
really?
Yeah.
I don't even hear songs on the radio. I just
still
like
listen
her.
to
How about
radio.
your daughter? She loves Taylor Swift. Doesn't love Taylor
don't
Swift.
know.
No.
Really?
No.
Melissa?
No, I'd say no.
Really?
Okay. There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Jill,
I don't have
Jill's a Swiftie.
Sure.
I'm about any
Not enough to go with me to the show, but still a Swiftie.
That was a terrible.
Why would you not just go?
Talk about us?
Agree.
Did
By
you
the way,
not listen
hanging
to
out with
that
me.
episode?
Hanging out with me.
I listen to the radio, I said.
I just think any self-respecting NFL fan is probably a little bit aggravated by all the attention of Taylor Swift.
I watched last night because I wanted to see Taylor Swift.
Oh my God!
I did watch.
And I watched last
By the
night to
way,
see if my
no,
bets
I was
went
Saving
through.
those ratings.
Yeah, well, I think the NFL is doing pretty good without her, but they're doing much better with her.
I don't like the Chiefs, man.
I'm starting. I was
don't.
like, I kind of like the Chiefs. I always was rooting for
I'm
the
sick
Chiefs,
of
and
it.
now I'm like,
I want them to lose.
I want to just watch the football game, not Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's just
Nobody
me.
had Swift in their fantasy football league. To be like,
Somebody. Well, there's a guy in the Eagles that
Yeah.
people right.
Yeah.
Swift. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, anyway, we're gonna finish the show. This was kind of funny. I saw this on TikTok. This is the little spoof on Taylor Swift's next song.
Oh yeah, Taylor Swift has a tendency to write songs about her bad breakups. There's one called "Dear John" about John Mayer, and so we have a feeling that Travis Kelce is going to be the next victim of a song. So, but before we get to this, I want to say thanks for coming in and being our producer today, Chris. We appreciate you, and it's always great to have you in. Thanks again, Jill. Appreciate you also. It's good to see you again. Kay Chandler, The Compass. Appreciate you, and thanks for listening to Lockpot, everybody. We love you, and we will be back on Tuesday with another great show. And on the way out, you're going to hear Taylor Swift's new show about once she breaks up with Travis Kelce.
Stand by.
It's not playing.
Nope.
yeah, that's me.
Let's
audio.
reboot. Let's reboot.
Redo.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Don't leave, everyone.
Yeah, everybody. There we go. This is a good one.
He touched down in my end zone. I said, are we still in the friend zone? My heart played the defensive line, but now I think about him all the time. He said he likes my tight end, just like his position. Kiss me pregame superstition. Think football my new addiction.